Kia ora, Bula Binaka, kia ora ana, Malaya lo, kia ora tātou. I'll start from the beginning. I was brought up in Hastings, in Hawke's Bay, and attended school there. And that's when, I guess, at 5 years old, awareness started to happen with me. Most of my life was encompassed with a cloud, I guess you can say. So I had no idea what comprehension really meant until my later teens. So throughout my school life, primary school life, it was basically, by the time I left school, I was illiterate, wasn't able to communicate, or even ask a question. So if somebody said to me, "Oh, if you have any problems, just ask," I said, "What do you mean?" I don't know how to ask a question because no one ever taught me, or I weren't aware of it. So I found that through my school life that my reports will say that I'm constantly in a daydream. And from my recollection, for me it was like a switch. If I stayed conscious enough, I was able to understand what's going on, and most of the time it was unconscious. So I wasn't aware through my school life that I was actually present, basically. So that's the conflict I had. Leaving school, I made a commitment to myself that I'll re-educate myself. I felt this veil that was constantly over me slowly lifting, so I was able to see just a little bit of what the real world was showing towards me. Every face that I saw had a kind of like a question mark on over the above of them. There's a movie that had a life expectancy where you'd have your life expectancy countdown, and it will count down to zero, and your time was up. That's how I saw the world. Everybody had a question mark, and their countdown was, for me, was how long I can communicate with that person. And sometimes it'll be about 5 seconds or 5 minutes or an hour a week or something like that. And so throughout my life, go through counselling, having many times where I would come to conflict. So I realised throughout my life, was able to discern that I had a nature of conflict, not an addictive nature. So therefore everything that I saw or I encountered with people was always constantly in conflict. So there was that question mark again. How long is this person I'm going to relate to before that person becomes an exclamation mark, a judgmental person, where I feel that I'm being judged. Now, I'm still going through that now. But in the last 5 years, I lived a life of trauma where I would suffer constantly. But now I'm able to deal with it and change the way I see the world. So instead of rowing my own waka, I now have a support team that I've chosen. Oh gosh. Yeah, so after a lifetime of getting into trouble, not being able to understand what was going on, not being able to communicate to people, having a total life of being misunderstood. It wasn't until 5 years ago I decided to take action. I went to see a doctor and I said to him, hey, I'm having trouble communicating to people. I'm always in conflict with them, no matter what they do. So he suggested I'll go to see a psychiatrist. So I went to ProCare, spoke to a psychiatrist called Dr. Kodaya in Monaco, and I went through an assessment there, plus with counsellors there as well. So since then, he changed the medication to. We had a little go at different types of medication, which ones would work and which didn't. So I ended up with Effexors and lamotrigines to boost the power. It took about 2 to 4 years of managing that medication. Now I'm at the stage where I've now been able to come off the invalid's benefit. I'm now working, and every day is a struggle for me. So I'm able to, so as long as I am aware, so the big question is, am I aware of what's going on in my life? So I have to constantly be aware of what's going on, and not get so much caught up in the conflict that goes on inside my head. So there's no switch that I can switch off and everything will be fine and dandy. But I found peace, and that was the big calling card for me. That's me. And I really appreciate being here and being able to stand up and talk in front of you. I've had a lifetime of going through trials and not being able to communicate to anyone. Always been monitored by the police, always been monitored by doctors, nurses, counsellors, and family and friends, and not being able to have my own, being able to row my own waka. I'm always rowing everybody else's waka until I get tossed out or banned from wherever I am because of not being able to communicate properly. In Māori, I relate to a proverb that says, e kore a muri e hokia. What's done is done. Now I have a different version to that, which means that once I get on this track, I'm not able to go back no matter what happens. And so that's my proverb that I am conscious of at this time. So I stick to it. I'm on this wagon. I've chosen my course of direction, and I'm in it for the long haul. And this is a constant trial for me. I did this all on my own. I've had altercations with various different professions because of that nature. Now it's over. Okay, my time's over. Thank you. Cheers.